As we mentioned a moment or two ago, Harvey Barnes and co. turned on the style as Newcastle romped to victory in the second half without Eddie Howe in the dugout. He's still in hospital due to an unspecified illness. And, of course, we all wish him well and a speedy return to that Newcastle dugout. Rotten day for Manchester United. Topped off, really, by the fourth goal. Bad error from... standing goalkeeper Alte Bayandir, who replaced the dropped Andre Onana. I see a lot of calls online saying Tom Heaton should play against Lyon on Thursday. After the game, Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim explained to talkSPORT his decision to drop Onana.
I understood that sometimes a player needs to be pushed and to put again to play, and sometimes I think the player needs to disconnect, and it was my choice. I left him at home because you understand that every time he goes to the bench, any situation of the game, the cameras would be on him, and he was not playing. He was on the bench, but feeling the pressure, feeling the moment. So for me, it was one thing or another. Or you play or you stay at home was my choice.
It's going to be interesting, Course, isn't it, to see who does play on Thursday between the sticks?
I don't know. Obviously, it's a massive decision. I don't know why I'm thinking. Right now, I'm thinking he probably might go back with Onana. But listen, the reason, let's get something straight right now, Jeff, and I'm convinced you'll agree with me. The reason Manchester United were beaten 4-1 wasn't down to the goalkeeper. He might have made a mistake for the fourth goal, but they were well and truly beaten by a better team. Simple as, I think.
Yeah, you're completely right. And you know what? The goalkeeper, everybody looks at the mistake, and of course they will do. Came and dominated his area pretty well. He took a lot of good catches during the course of the game. But the biggest condemnation of Manchester United for me, Ali, is that nobody was surprised they lost 4-1 at Newcastle.
Correct. Absolutely, Jeff. There's no getting away from it. It's not a surprise. That result is not a surprise. We've now reached the stage where it wouldn't be a surprise if Lyon go and beat them on Thursday. That's where United are at this moment in time. They have got a monumental task to get back to where they want to be. Monumental.
Yeah, they do indeed. Look, joining us for more now is broadcaster, big Manchester United fan, Angelina Kelly. Morning, Angelina.
Good morning, Angelina. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. Thankfully, the Man United women have made it to their third consecutive FA Cup final. So when Sir Jim Ratcliffe stays away from a team, we do all right. So at least there was that game that they beat City 2-0 yesterday. But yeah, I'm hanging in there, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and Angelina, you know the date of that final is May the 18th against Chelsea. And who do Manchester United play that day? They played Chelsea on the same day. Yes. Who is Jim Ratcliffe going to watch this time round?
I think we know the answer. I think Jim will probably be watching the men, but I think it will be a more competitive game, shall we say, on the women's side. But it's funny how the dates fall. But, you know, like I say, third consecutive FA Cup final for them. And the Man United goalkeeper on the women's side made some fantastic saves. And it's just so funny, the juxtaposition of the two teams at the minute.
Yeah. And look, I just want to get on my soapbox just for a minute. Because, you know, if the authorities are serious about promoting women's football, the semi-finals of the Women's FA Cup should be played at the club's principal ground. Chelsea against Liverpool on the Saturday was played at Kingsmeadow. Capacity 4,000. 4,000, you know, neither of them, you know, and the City United game, that should have been played, you know, at the Etihad as well, but it frustrates the heck out of me, you know. If they want to see the women's game develop, then give it a chance, you know, by giving it the platform. Anyway, look, as far as the men go, I'll tell you what, before the game yesterday, Angelina, I wrote down a little phrase. It just said, have you ever seen a weaker looking hodgepodge of a Manchester United team than that starting 11? I honestly couldn't believe it. Amazing. Did you feel the same?
It's a motley crew, isn't it, when you look at it? I just think, you know what? The talkSPORT Man United show that we do Inside Devils, we all predicted losses going into this game. I don't think that anybody had any kind of hope, because it's more important for Newcastle. Newcastle need to be in that top four. They've got these two games in hand. For Manchester United, these players just don't want it. They show up to the glamorous games if we're lucky. And for them, I just knew I knew the script of this game. The Andre Onana situation is a really difficult one. And like you say, I assume he will go back to Onana for the Lyon game. But again, like you said, it wasn't because of the goalkeeper. It's because of the defenders that were in front of him. It's because Newcastle have more creative players, better goal scorers. And this is the problem with Man United week in, week out. Xerxes now seems to have, done something and maybe is injured. So you're going into that Lyon game with Rasmus Højlund up front. And who, let's be honest, has got confidence that he's going to be able to do anything?
Angelina, I look at the spine of the team. Obviously, we've mentioned the goalkeeper, so there's a problem there. The fact he's changed the goalkeeper tell you the problem. Crikey, the back three, Mazraoui, Lindelof and Lenny Euro. I'm sorry, but, good players, yes, but should they be a back three for Manchester United? Absolutely no way. Why is Patrick Dorgu not starting? Was he coming back from injury? Why is he not starting? Any time I've seen him, he's actually looking perhaps like a breath of fresh air. I look at the midfield as well. Ugarte and Eriksson. There's just no legs in the middle of the park.
This is it. And I know that it's a weird one with Casemiro because he's kind of crept back into the Man United's team and he's actually been doing all right overall. So I thought maybe they were resting him. But again, you're putting someone like Eriksson in his place. I know that Kobbie Mainoo was coming back from injury. Yeah. But I agree, when you look at the back three, I mean, I'll be honest, I sometimes forget that Victor Lindelof's still there. It was a bit of a strange one. You'd think that maybe Maguire would have been played, but it's so ad hoc when you look at these starting 11s and you genuinely don't know what's going to happen. The only positive from it was that we saw Alejandro Garnacho score a goal, which I think he will have needed. But again, when you look at Manchester United, what they try to do with the ball, it seems to be like, let's just give it to Bruno and fingers crossed he's going to be able to do something with it, because you look at that whole team and that it is a sorry sight.
Roy Keane said afterwards, I bet the manager can't believe how bad this team is. But I wonder, is Ruben Amorim? I know people, want to give him time and the such likes. Completely agree with that. But is he devoid of criticism for what's going on there now?
I think that you can still criticise Ruben Amorim. I do think that a lot of this is down to the players and the player mentality. I've said that from day one. However, do you think that, I think maybe he could have approached this differently. I get that he started with his style, and once he started with that, if he'd have backtracked, these players and their mentality, they'd have been nudging each other like, yeah, I told you we wouldn't have to do that for too long. So, but I do wonder sometimes, when Mikel Arteta came to Arsenal originally, he kind of used the players and played with a style that suited those players. And sometimes you do wonder, should he have maybe started off a little bit more like that, and that could have maybe helped the players a bit more. But I think he wrote in a pre-match programme at Manchester United a couple of months back now, he said, if I devoid on this now, we go back to square one and it's going to be even more painful. So I understand his approach, but sometimes I do think, had he have started a bit differently, maybe it could have changed things, maybe with player confidence or something like that. So I think he does get a bit of criticism, but this is down to the players on the pitch mainly.
Angelina, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Angelina.
Thank you.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.